Hello, good morning, students. Welcome in today's session through online teaching. In today's class, we will start a beautiful poem entitled The Sea and the Skylark. This beautiful poem is written by G.M. Hopkins, and this poem has been included in BA Part 3rd syllabus, Paper 1st, Poetry and Drama. G.M. Hopkins' full name is Gerard Manley Hopkins, and he was a famous Victorian poet. He was born in 1844. Hopkins was born in 1844 and he was died in 1889. In 1866 he became Roman Catholic. In 1877 Hopkins wrote a series of sonnets, and The Sea and the Skylark is one of them. His important works are The Windover, Spring and Fall, Pied Beauty, etc. The Sea and the Skylark was one of a series of sonnets which he wrote in 1877, and the subtitle of this sonnet is Walking by the Sea. It is an Italian sonnet, and it is divided into two parts, and the rhyme scheme of this sonnet is A B A B A B B A A B B A C D C D C D. Once again I repeat A B B A A B B A C D C D C D. So students, now we will explain the first part of the sonnet, The Sea and the Skylark, and the subtitle of the sonnet is Walking by the Sea. So let's begin. On year and year, two noises too old to end, trench ride the tide that ramps against the shore. On year and year, it means both here of the poet Hopkins. Two noises, it means poet G.M. Hopkins hears two types of the noises. One, the noise of ocean, and second, the noise of skylark. Too old to end. It means eternal sounds or everlasting sound. The noise of skylark and ocean will never end. Trench right, it means from right hand there was a trench. The tide that ramps against the shore. Tide means the waves of ocean. Rams means break, takrana. The shore means bank ya kinara. With a flood or a fall, low lull of or all roar. Here alliteration and assonance figure of speech has been used. Frequenting, frequenting means continuing. The waves of the ocean will continue. They will repeat one again and again. While moon shall veer and bend, it means veer and bend means waxing and bending of the moon, or we can say increasing or decreasing shape of the moon. Left hand often I hear the lark ascend. Left hand, from the left hand. Offland means above the earth. I hear. Who hear? Poet. Poet himself hear. The lark ascend. Lark means skylark, a type of bird who sings. Ascends means music or sounds. His rash fresh rebounded new skin score. New skin means renewed. In crisp of curl of wild winch whirl and fur. And pelt music means produce music, create music, till nuns to spill nor to till nuns to spill nor spend. These are the opening line of the poem The Sea and the Skylark. And this sonnet was written in a seaside town a few miles from St. Venus College. And we know that G.M. Hopkins lived there for about 3 years. In this sonnet, the sea and the skylark are contrasted with men. While walking near the sea, the poet hears two sounds which make a deep impression on him. The poet G.M. Hopkins hears two sounds there. He calls them too old to end. G.M. Hopkins calls these two type of sounds which he hears near the seaside too old to end, means they will never end. On his right hand there is the sea whose waves breaks against the shore. At high tide the sea continually roars, while at eve, when it is over a quarter of a mile away, there is a low lulling sound in the distance. As long as the moon's phases change and its orbit the earth, the sea will be found repeatedly visiting the shore. We know that the moon's orbit of the earth is the main cause of the tide. On the other side, on the left hand, the poet sees a skylark bird. He hears the skylark song which sings as it ascends. Skylark sings as it ascends until it is just visible as a spot in the sky. It also sings while descending. The poet compares the song of skylark to a lock of flames waving in the air. The skylark seems to whirl off the wind of his throat in a wild ecstasy, not in a smooth or even flow, but as it were in crisp curl of melody, whose every note may be compared to a lock of flames waving in the air. The skylark pours out music without efforts. The skylark creates his music without any efforts, and yet he pelts his fresh song with continuous efforts till he has split and spent all and there is nothing left. He refreshes and sings again. This goes on forever. How these two shame this shallow and frail town. Frail town here refer to Ryle City where G.M. Hopkins lived. Frail means immoral. The sea and the skylark put to shame this town with its meaningless, unworthy life which has no vitality in it. In other words, modern urban life is something of which people should feel ashamed by comparison with the life of nature. How ring right out our sordid turbid. Sordid means disgusting. Ring right out. It means fully demolish. Fully demolish. Being pure, we life's pride and cared for crown. We means human being have lost that cheer and charm of earth's past prime. Earth's past prime. It means we have lost the time of joy and jest. Our make and making break are breaking down to man's last dust. To man's last dust. Here, universal truth is hidden. We know that a person who is born must have to die. Drain fast toward man's first slime. Slime means uh, muddy. कीचड़. Slime means कीचड़ या muddy. to man's eventual death when he will return to the dust of which he is made. These lines are the sestate part of the sonnet, the sea and the skylark. In this sonnet, skylark and the sea are contrasted with men, and man's downfall or destruction of man seems to the poet evident in a tasteless seaside town named Real, where he lived for 3 years. The poet says that the two natural sounds of the sea and the skylark are putting to shame this town of Real, where life is shallow and immoral. People has lost their mortality and spirituality. The sounds of nature, because of their purity, rise far above the sordid and confused human sounds of town. The poet says that we human beings are supposed to be the pride of creation and honored lords of whole world. However, our condition has now worse. We have now lost the joy and charm of the earth when all things were in their prime. This process will lead us to the state of dust which awaits us in death and which recalls man's original state of slime. Our end will thus rejoin our beginning. We shall end as we began. We are witnessing not progress but retrogression or destruction. This is all about this poem, The Sea and the Skylark. It was written by G.M. Hopkins, and the subtitle of this sonnet was Walking by the Sea. In this sonnet, the sea and the skylark are contrasted with human being.